It is the 7th of June 1944, D+1 as they're calling it. Tanks of the 7th Armoured Division have been called upon to scout ahead and locate enemy forces. Reported sightings of a Panzer platoon earlier in the morning keep the men on edge. A squadron of 4 British tanks, 3 Cromwells and a Firefly, led by Lieutenant Smith, rode in column down the road. All is quiet bar the humming of the Meteor engines. The crossroads are ahead, thought Lieutenant Smith. Objective is within sight. With a thunderous crash, the lead Cromwell erupted into wicked flames, its turret spinning through the air seemingly weightless. The hull ablaze. A second muzzle flash caught Lieutenant Smith's attention from the tree line to the right. The second round barely missed Lieutenant Smith's own Cromwell. Load smoke shells! Target bearing 35 degrees on my mark! Fire! Lieutenant Smith. Battle is imminent. Welcome to Overlord Games. In today's video we will be showcasing Flames of War in a very small introductory game designed to show the basic mechanics such as movement, shooting and orders. This scenario will lead into our very first battle report between the Desert Rats and the Panzer Lehr division. Keep an eye out for that video also. For this introductory game we shall only be using 2 units. The British have the Desert Rats armoured platoon consisting of 1 Firefly and 2 Cromwells. These will be pitted against the Panzer Lehr's Panzer platoon with 3 Panzer IVs. The first order of business in this game is to roll off to see who goes first. The Allies roll a 6, whilst the Germans end up rolling a 1, meaning the Allies have seized the initiative for this game and will be going first. The Allied commander decides to stay put within the safety of the hedges, but attempts to reposition his tanks so that his front armour faces the enemy. The Allied commander then decides to attempt a blitz order. This means that if they roll their skill rating or higher, the teams may move 4 inches for free. If it does not move any further, it will count as stationary for the purposes of shooting. The Allied commander needs a 4 or more, as his unit is skill rating trained, meaning he needs a 4+. The Allied player manages to roll a 6 and carry out the order. The drawback to using a blitz order is that if the unit rolls below its motivation, it suffers a -1 to hit whilst rolling to shoot for the remainder of the turn. Use this wisely, as it does have its drawback. Whilst the tank commander at the head of the column is happy where he is, because he can use the fence to fire over, the tank at the rear of the column has nowhere to go, so decides to attempt to pass over the hedgerow using a cross-check. He needs to roll a 3, but unfortunately only manages a 2. His move ends at the edge of the hedge. It is now time for the Allied shooting phase. The Allied player decides that they're going to fire with both the Sherman Firefly and the lead Cromwell. The unit opens fire, and the Firefly is within range. It is also within 16 inches, which means that it's not shooting at long range. If he were shooting at long range, then he would have needed an additional +1 to the score needed to hit, and the Panzer would have had +1 to its armour save. The Panzer is also visible because it is within 2 inches of the edge of the woods. The Cromwell is also within range of its gun, and not at long range. It can also see its target because the target is within 2 inches of the edge of the woods. In Flames of War, units are hit on their to hit rating. This can be found on the unit that is being fired at's unit card. The Panzer IV is rated careful 4+. This means that it is usually hit on a 4+. However, it is concealed because it's within terrain, and also it gains an additional +1 because it is gone to ground. It is not yet shot as part of this game. Therefore, both the Firefly and the Cromwell need a 6 to hit. The Cromwell will be the grey dice and the Firefly will be the green dice. Both tanks count as being stationary. That means that they shoot at their halted rate of fire. The reason they're counted as stationary is because they did a blitz order earlier in the turn. 1 hit from the Firefly. Fantastic. Let's see if it does any damage. The Panzer IV must now take an armour save. Its front armour is rated 6. An armour save works as follows. You must roll a d6 and add your armour value to it. So the Panzer IV at maximum can roll a 12. Unfortunately, the anti-tank rating of a Firefly is 14. Therefore, there is no way that the Panzer IV can deflect this shell. As the Panzer IV was unable to match the anti-tank rating of 14 with its armour save, the Panzer IV is now going to be subject to a firepower test. The Firefly needs to roll a 3+, because its fire value rating is 3+. If the 3+ is passed, then the tank is destroyed. If it fails, then the tank is bailed out. Unlucky. The Firefly only rolled a 2, therefore failing its firepower test. The Panzer IV at the beginning of its next turn must roll it to see if it can remount. If it fails to remount, then it will not be able to do an action next turn. A bailed out marker is then placed on the tank. This will help you to remember that your tank has been bailed out, or that your opponent's has, and it will help to prevent mistakes. The German player starts his turn by rolling a remount check. The remount value of a Panzer IV is 3+, because it has the protected ammo rule. The German player unfortunately ends up rolling a 1. Really unlucky if you ask me. The German player decides to remain stationary. There's no need for him to move right now, as all his tanks are in cover and can see all of the opposing Cromwells. And more importantly, the Sherman Firefly, which has already proven that it has a powerful anti-tank rating and is a real threat to the German player. The German player decides to shoot with his 2 Panzers, which are not bailed out. The Allies are rated careful, so are hit on a 4+ normally. However, they are also concealed, meaning they're +1 to hit. That means that they're hit on a 5. They're not considered gone to ground, as they have actually shot this turn, so will not get the benefit. Therefore, they are hit on a 5+. With a thunderous roar, the Panzers open fire. They rolled a 6, a 5, a 4 and a 2. They needed a 5+ to hit, so score 2 hits. These are allocated with 1 on the Sherman Firefly and 1 on the lead Cromwell. Assigning hits in Flames of War is quite simple. The target team receives at least 1 hit, and then distribute the rest of the hits to the same unit within 6 inches, evenly as possible. This is done by weapon type. Both the Cromwell and the Firefly are front armour 6. The anti-tank rating of the Panzer IV is 11. That means they need a 5 to equal or a 6 to bounce. First we'll do the Firefly. German Firefly? 4. Unfortunately, its armour has been penetrated. Cromwell now? It's managed to equal the Panzer's anti-tank rating. A firepower check is where you need to roll equal to or higher than your firepower rating. This can be found on the weapon profile on your unit card. If the target unit equaled your anti-tank rating in its armour save, then a fail means nothing happened. A pass would result in the tank crew bailing out. If the target unit had failed its armour save, then a failed firepower check would result in the tank bailing out. A successful firepower check would mean the tank is destroyed. German firepower check. Passed, the tank is destroyed. Cotton wool is placed over the Sherman Firefly to show that it has been destroyed. You can also use blast markers and other such tokens. Firepower test to destroy the Cromwell. 5+. The Germans have passed and the Cromwell is destroyed. A cotton wool marker is again placed on the tank to show it's been destroyed. Lieutenant Smith, the troop commander, now moves to the other Cromwell in the unit. The Cromwell troop is not in good order, as it no longer has the required 2 tanks to remain in order. Therefore, it must now take a last stand check. Last stand check. As a Desert Rats troop is rated motivation reluctant 5+, they have failed. Lieutenant Smith's Cromwell is no longer in good spirits and breaks. It is removed from the table. The Germans have won the day and driven off the 7th Armoured Division. However, the Allied follow-up attack will surely be fierce. Will the Panzer Lehr Division have the tenacity to hold off against another attack? Find out in our upcoming First Battle Report. If you like what you've seen today and are enjoying our content, then please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to check out overlordgames.co.uk to grab a bargain, as we sell Flames of War products for 25% off RRP.